Mademoiselle and Sasu Deuxième Chanel Mouin. Welcome to another installment of 12 Days of Halloween. I hope you guys are enjoying it. We're literally midway. Shout out to all you guys who have been liking, hyping, commenting. Like, I appreciate it more than anything. But a special shout out to my channel members who got all the uploads first and who have been seeing these videos before everyone else. A lot of you guys be confused, like, wait, how are there comments here from days ago? That's because my members got first access and there are different tiers and levels. Please make sure you guys join the right one because some only get early access while some get dedicated access to exclusive uploads and exclusive series that I'm going to be doing. Now, so far, which is crazy because I wasn't really taking my membership that seriously, but yeah, like my membership is going. So shout outs to all 88 of you. By the time I post this, I'm sure I'll have more. The goal is to get to 100 members by the end of this 12 days of Halloween. So if y'all do that, let's make a deal. All right. If I get at least 100 members, I will give y'all at least 2 extra uploads for the membership. And I will make sure that it's for everybody. So again, thank you guys so much for following, liking, hyping, subscribing, commenting. It means so much to me, but most importantly, shout outs to the members. As you guys can see, I got some new merch or whatever. Okay, this says I do it for my ancestors. However, we have so much other merch in the shop. Again, shout outs to those of you guys who follow me on Instagram because I've been posting it. Honestly, I'm very, very proud of this merch. This is probably like the best series of merch that I've done. And y'all been ordering, okay? Thank you so very much. Again, if you're on the membership, you do get a specialized coupon code for money off your order. Of course, if you guys are not aware, we are going to Brazil, July 2026. If this is something you're interested in, everything you need is going to be linked down below. As you guys can see by today's title, we're going to be doing another KRIK KRAK. And let me just say, right, I'm finally in 2025. Can I get a round of applause? Can I get some claps down in the comment section? Because y'all, like, it got to a point where I was like, bro, I am never going to get through these, but I'm slamming through them, okay? I am slamming through them. Thank you guys so much for sending in your stories. Understand if for whatever reason I didn't read your story and you sent it prior to 2023, it's because some way, somehow it might have gotten lost. If it's something you still want me to read, please make sure you send it. In retrospect, if it's something where you don't want me to read it, please don't send it. I got people sending me emails and stuff talking about, oh, don't read my story. People can say, well, why'd you send it, baby? Okay, make sure that it is safe to send your stories. I don't have time for all of that, right? So let's read this next story. Hi, Yvana. I'm a subscriber writing you from Guatemala. I always want to go to Guatemala. I've been binge watching your mermaid stories and KRIK KRAK series and thought I should send you my own story. Now, to be honest, I never actually believed in voodoo, Santeria, or any form of witchcraft. Why do y'all all call it witchcraft? It's its own individual practices. Witchcraft is its own individual practice. It's so interesting how like Europeans and slavery and racism and everything has gotten people calling everything witchcraft, everything black magic. It's like, no, completely different. But I am Native American KRIK, who was adopted by a white family. And most white people that I know don't even think about these subjects. So I grew up never knowing anything about these things. However, I grew up with many paranormal and spiritual experiences. I have dreams that reveal people's secrets and intentions. I've dreamt of dead relatives that asked me to give messages. I have astral projected and even fought and killed evil spirits in my dreams. And when somebody I know visits me in a dream, I know something is going on in their life, and they usually end up confessing to me. I say all of this because dreams are relevant to my story. So I'm confused with that last part in regards to, if someone visits you in your dream, something going on in their life. They're no longer alive. They don't have a life anymore. So maybe you mean like someone personal to their life? That would make more sense. So here I go. I moved to Guatemala and I've been happily married now for 10 years. Congrats. The first year, my husband opened a business and hired a friend to work for us. I will call him Carlos. Bad idea. You don't hire friends. Maybe on a contract basis, but you don't. I mean, unless you really have to and they really don't have a choice. It's just, business and relationships just don't mix. He was a good worker, but he wasn't exactly a good person. He had drug issues and problems with women, which often meddled into his work life with us. He, however, became very close to us, almost like family, spending time at our home, eating with us, running errands for us. This might seem strange to some, but it's actually very normal between Guatemalans, I think they meant to say. Like most Central Americans I know are very close-knit to family and friends. The problem started when Carlos started to see too much of our married life. Let me just pause right there. I think it's a foreign thing. I know a lot of foreigners that operate like this. I just never seen it end well. I've seen people, especially who are Haitian or like Nigerian or whatever, like hire their parents, right? Hire aunts and uncles, hire their cousins, and it's all great until it ain't. Because mixing business with personal and or pleasure is just almost always a bad idea. Sometimes you can manage it. Sometimes it works out well. I'm not saying it's 100% fail, but unfortunately for a lot of people and a lot of times it can be 100% fail. So that's personally why I wouldn't do it. But like, I say that with a grain of salt because there's some people where it's like, I wouldn't mind doing it. Like my man, I wouldn't mind doing something with my man. Any of my best friends, I would love to do something with them, right? But anyone that falls out of that, no. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't even think I do business with my own parents. Shout out to those of you guys who are on the Patreon. You understand the dynamics. You understand where I'm at with that. It really does depend on the relationship. I feel like, I know some people have the rule of thumb where they're like, the closer you are to the person, the harder the relationship will fall if it doesn't work out. I feel like you gotta be close because the little shit is just gonna bother the hell out of you, and there's money and there's business and whatever on the line. That's just my personal opinion though. Like a lot of people feel completely different about it. So I want to hear down below, have any of you guys worked with friends or family on a business capacity? What exactly happened? Like many young married couples, we had our fights, all of which Carlos was aware of because he would often be at our business or house when they happened. Big mistake, you're bugging. You can be friends, but you do not put people in your relationship. One day, while my husband was absent, Carlos told me that he felt bad about how I was being treated and that if he was my husband, he would treat me better. Fired. Damn. Gabish. What do you mean? Like, I think I see where this story's going and I don't like it. To me, this felt like he was making an attempt to cross boundaries with me. So I made a conscious effort to create distance between us and started by being busy when he was present. Then came the dreams. Are you allowed to fire someone for making passes at you? Like, I know on another hand, right? Like, so say if it's like a SASH, guys, you know, think of the words. I don't want to say it. Demonetization on YouTube. Be serious, right? I see it from an employer standpoint. Like if your employer is doing that to you, but if your employee is doing that to you, do you have a right to fire them? Like you can easily like sue your job for doing something like this. But like, can you fire somebody because they made a pass at you? Like, because what? What do you mean? I was just trying to avoid him. No. Send that motherfucker to unemployment. You're a nice person. But then like, I get it because like, I don't understand the dynamics, right? Like, I only know what you're saying to me. I'm sure he probably got like 10 kids and he be sending money home, you know, back to people in Guatemala and shit like that. So yeah, this is tricky. I had a dream where I saw Carlos from a distance looking sad. I walked to him and asked him what was wrong, but he remained silent and lowered his head. When I woke up, I assumed that this meant Carlos was going to give us bad news. Okay. But nothing happened. He was cheerful. He was his cheerful, normal self. Yet again, when I went to sleep, the dream would repeat at least 3 times during the next few months. Okay, you know what? I'm going to say, all right, let me say something that is probably very off kilter. But like, do you think you're probably having dreams about him because you had him make a pass at you? That's what I would think. Like, I feel like anytime someone does something I don't like or someone makes me feel uncomfortable or I'm stressed out or sad or whatever about a situation, I constantly think about it and then I might dream about it. I wouldn't think that it was a sign of anything, but that's just, is that not human nature? Child, let me know what y'all think. Because I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. All right. A year goes by and Carlos quits working for us. Should have fired him. The dreams began yet again. I would be having any kind of random nonsense dream, and then Carlos would appear in them, always staring at me from far away. And then I would wake up, feeling watched and not able to sleep again. These dreams were repeating every night. Not only this, but I started to see him everywhere I went. Every time I left the house, at the grocery store, at the park, at the mall, and he would no longer talk to me. He would only look at me with a surprised look, and I was actually starting to get scared. Yes, I know there are coincidences, but if you dream of somebody every fucking night and then see them every fucking time you go out, is this normal? Actually, it's not. I did a series on how to tell someone's doing black magic on you. And I believe one of the symptoms was constantly seeing the person or having them like show up in your life in some way. So yeah, love spells, black magic, anything like that. You more than likely will see the person without like you provoking it. This did not feel right. I had a feeling that something was not right, but I had nobody to talk to about this without sounding like a mental case. Yeah. A couple of months go by and Carlos starts to pop up at our home to visit. So I began to blatantly avoid him because his presence made me uncomfortable. So he's coming to your house to visit you, but he won't say hi to you? A la de respect. Like, what type of, I'm not under, what? So I want to know what your husband's relationship is with this man, because I'm not understanding how Carlos is moving right now, because he's hitting on his friend's wife. He's popping up at the house. Meanwhile, when he see you in the street, he not saying nothing. I'm not understanding. Like, what? He seemed to understand this and stopped visiting altogether. And I think he got upset with me because he deleted me from social media and stopped talking to me. Yeah, because you wasn't trying to foot. Let me stop. At the same time, he always wanted to be in my business, asking close friends what I was up to, how I was doing. Yet, whenever I would see him, he would now ignore me as if we never knew each other. Why are you so obsessed with me? It's definitely given obsessed. This is where things got strange. Our business started to go through a dry spell. Money was not flowing. I got laid off from my job. Our house got broken into twice. All of this happening at the same time. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. It just seemed that everything was going wrong for us. Meanwhile, Carlos was doing the complete opposite. He bought a new motorcycle, he was building a house, and he had gotten into a relationship. Now, mind you, all this time, he keeps popping up in my dreams, always watching me from a distance and never approaching me. And the dreams are getting scarier because he looks angry at me in them. I would often wake up scared, even feeling watched. At this point, it's been 2 years, and I'm starting to feel like I'm going to lose my sanity. I came to my breaking point and opened up to a close friend, telling her everything. I told her about the bad luck me and my husband were experiencing and confessed to her about my dreams. She listened to me, and the first thing she asked me was if Carlos had ever given me something to eat. I hope not. I said no. She then told me that she believed I was under a binding spell and that I urgently needed to go to a santera or witch doctor and break the bond. That's exactly what I was about to say too. It's giving bonding spell. I don't know what it's called in Creole. I ain't gonna hold you. Well, in Creole, a bonding spell is technically mare or mare munlo, which means you tied them up, which can be considered a love spell as well. But that's not always the case. People don't always do it for romantic reasonings. But there's also something else. I just can't remember what it's called. Okay, comment down below. Okay, if you guys know, especially if you're Haitian. It's basically a spell where you basically like just ruin the person's life. Like just because like okay, obviously we could just call it black magic, right? But no, this one's like super duper specific to the point where basically you're kind of like destiny swapping, or essentially you're making, okay, there's two that I'm talking about that I can't remember, y'all. I did a lot today. Sorry, my ADHD is HD. There's one where you make the person's life miserable, basically just give them bad luck, basically Mademoiselle type vibe. And then there's one where essentially you make the person go crazy. You make them lose their mind so that they destroy their own lives. Whichever one, something's really going on here. Heard of such bad luck happening all at the same time in accordance to one person, especially if you're having dreams about the person and you're seeing them, but they blocked you, but they're asking about you. It's giving big hater. It's giving obsessed, but all right. At first, I did not believe her, but she explained to me all the symptoms of binding. And I had every one of them, thinking constantly about the person for no reason, bad dreams, feeling watched when nobody is there, and general problems in love and money. Now, to my knowledge, in Latino culture, the most common way to bind a victim is to give them food that's mixed with your sexual fluids, but there are other ways. Yeah, pretty much. People do it all the time. Like writing the victim's name and intention on a blunt and smoking them, or going to a santero or witch with personal items or a picture of the victim for them to bind you. Yeah, but you don't really need all of that. Well, at least in Haitian culture, you definitely don't need all of that. I, however, don't trust any random person to do any kind of spiritual work for me, as you should not. So I decided to wait and see if I am able to break the bond myself. This might work. I began to research ways to cleanse and protect myself, all in ways that are closest to my personal ancestral background. As I started to grow spiritually, things started to get better. My marriage improved drastically, as did our business. I landed on amazing job, and I even started to notice I was getting prettier. Yo, I'm telling y'all, bro, these malevolent spells will do it to you. If someone's doing something to you, you gonna notice, like, your skin gonna look crazy, your sleep gonna be bad. Child. The dreams about Carlos started to become less frequent. At the same time, his life was turning upside down. He was starting to become an alcoholic, started getting into problems at work, and doing drugs. All while he was expecting his first child. Damn. I mean, Carlos should never did what he did. Around this time, I had a dream that I got a knock at the door, and when I opened it, it was Carlos, asking if he could speak to me, okay? Tell me why the next day he is knocking at my door. You tolerated this man a little too much for my liking. Did you tell your husband what was going on? Because I pretended I wasn't home, and he eventually left. The dream started to come back. I started to have vivid dreams about him opening up to me and confessing many personal problems to me. I know these issues were real because I would dream them, and then my husband would tell me that Carlos had opened up to him and told him. At this point, I knew that I needed to be free. I performed a cord-cutting ritual asking God or the universe or whoever watches over me to free me from Carlos, and even speaking over his life, that I forgave him and blessed him and asked him to leave me alone. I cried bitterly as I performed this ceremony, releasing all the pent-up fear, shame, and confusion I held on for 2 years. Okay, let's take out the magical, right? Let's do mundane before magical. Did you tell your husband? Like, am I the only one just like, this is a little weird for someone to be going through with their significant other's friend? Like, okay, I don't want to make an inference, and I don't want to say something about you that is completely untrue. But was there something going on? Like, I know you ignored the past, right? But it's giving. Like, for him to be this type of comfortable, like, I know a lot of men don't take no for an answer very well. But this is just weird that you didn't, I mean, from what you're telling me, you didn't tell him. It wasn't like one of those things where it was like, my husband beat him up. Like, I'm just like, you let it take over your life. You let it take over your psyche. You let it take over your marriage to the point where you had to do all of this. When your husband just could have beat his ass. I mean, okay, it's the Jersey in me showing. I'm trying to be diplomatic here, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. But I'm happy you were able to get your life, because this is too much. After this ritual, I felt so much better and even slept amazing. About 3 days later, my husband comes to me looking very upset. I asked what was wrong, and he told me he got news that Carlos' son was born dead. This is why people shouldn't be doing shit. This is why people shouldn't be. Wow. That's really unfortunate. As tragic as this was, it was confirmation to me about his actions, because I also believed that when you decide to perform any kind of black magic on somebody, especially binding spells, you have to pay a price. Often the price is a life of a loved one or the firstborn child. Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. I'm sad to say this story does not really have an ending. Many things continued to happen after this event. Even though I decided to cut all physical contact with Carlos, he would often visit me in my dreams. This man, this is weird. However, as the years have passed, it's become less frequent. He's still living a bad lifestyle, resorting to drugs and alcohol, and I suspect he's initiated with La Santa Muerte. Oh, I hope not, because Santa Muerte don't really play about their own. And if he says Santa after you, I don't want to say it's never going to stop. But yeah. My husband visited his home and saw an altar and noped the fuck out. Or what is this, a new slang people are using? Nope. Anyways, I want to say that I did open up to my husband and tell him everything about Carlos, and he believed me. Oh, thank God, finally. But damn, he didn't beat his ass? Like, I guess the lesson of my experience would be to never allow any sort of third party, neither family or friend, to know too much about your relationship, ever. You never know people's true intentions. Stay safe and stay protected. Always trust your intuition. And if somebody you don't fuck with starts to appear in your dream for no reason, something may not be right. Anyways, thank you for listening to my story, KRIK KRAK. Thank you so much for sharing. This was a lot. I'm mad you told me at the end that your husband was told and he believed you. I'm just not understanding why he didn't beat his ass. But see, not everybody's about the violence. We do need to grow up, and we can't be putting hands on people. But I'm just saying, Carlos was doing a little too much. It is unfortunate that his child passed away. However, it's like you said, when you're dibbling and dabbling things that you shouldn't, a lot of times the price is a child, a life, a loved one. And yeah, it's extremely unfortunate. I will never, what's the word? I will never sit here and condone it. I think it's very problematic when people do that. Yeah, I don't know. I be thinking like, why do that? Like, there's so many things that you can do in life. There's so many ways to get back at people or confront a situation, but instead people choose to like ruin people's lives with magic and mystical items and mystical situations. Like, I just think it's disrespectful. I think it's very, very problematic, and it's a complete invasion of privacy, spiritually, personally, and in so many different ways. So I really do hope things do get better for you, because this was a lot. Like, I didn't expect the story to go the way it did. Like this, But it's like she said, right? Do not let anybody into your personal life. Like your very personal life. Hard, especially like if you're younger. But don't let people know about your personal issues with other people, ever. Okay? Especially if you actually want to preserve that relationship. Once it's done, whatever, have at it, talk your shit. But if you're really in an active relationship with someone, whether it's romantic or platonic or it's a family member, and you're having issues with them, do not go around talking shit, talk like whatever, unless like you're literally planning to cut them off. Because it always ends into one of these situations if the wrong person is listening. Also, I really hope he's not initiated with Santa Muerte, because women, one of the spirits, I'll say, I don't want to say afraid of, but one of the spirits of the people or people's spirits, the people who serve Santa Muerte are different types of people. That's the best way to explain it. And a lot of times she don't play, whether they right or wrong. So yeah, I would say to be safe. I don't know where you are in your spiritual journey. I would say try to appeal to and find out if he really is initiated. Because yeah, like she gonna protect her own. That's literally a mother spirit to the T. Don't really matter if they right or wrong. Like, yeah, she might punish him, or she might let another spirit punish him for his deeds, but they still stand for their own. Okay, like Santa, like Lilith. Now, actually, Lilith is a little bit more like, bitch, you did the crime, you did the time. But Santa, I don't want to say she doesn't hold her people accountable, but at the end of the day, she is a death-related deity. That's all I gotta say with that. My gifts are very death-related. Therefore, that's the only reason I even know that much about Santa. Like, she's actually one of my favorite Latino-based entities as well. She's just lit, low-key, but she's ruthless. So be very, very careful with that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Free to add down below. I know you guys always got your stories you want to send. Please make sure you send them to the email right here. Do not send them anywhere else, because more than likely I will trash it or I will not see it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I hope you guys are enjoying 12 days of Halloween. Make sure you guys peep the description box for everything you guys ask me about all day, every day. With that being said, I'm going to see y'all next time. Bye.